Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. Our guest this evening was on the program last time, Dr. Marcel Dionne. He's the reasonably new regional flight surgeon for the FAA here in Alaska. A great flying and medical background, started as a country doc up in Maine. Knows medicine, but knows flight medicine, and a career in the Air Force, and came up to Alaska and flew the airplanes up here with out at Elmendorf, knew he wanted to come back, and now he's back as the regional flight doc. Marcel, welcome back.
Good evening, Harry.
So we talked a little bit about the time you've been up here, but I'd like to kind of give you the opportunity to talk about maybe some concerns that you have, aviation medicine concerns specifically.
Probably the one that's getting a lot of attention recently with good justification is pilot fatigue and sleep apnea, obstructive sleep apnea in particular. The Department of Transportation as well as the FAA are focused on addressing this issue. And it's a condition that has received not much public attention until recent, but it's also a condition that has some short-term as well as long-term medical consequences. People think of sleep apnea as, if I'm not sleeping in the daytime, it's not an issue. In actuality, it doesn't just affect sleep. It affects your decision time, multitasking, your memory, your ability to concentrate, all of which are key ingredients to good flying safety. But some of the long-term complications are actually in many ways similar to untreated high blood pressure. And that's the example that I use is, you have a lifetime of somebody with high blood pressure that's untreated. Chances are, they're going to develop early heart disease, but potentially a stroke, kidney failure. Same thing with obstructive sleep apnea. It puts an undue strain on the brain, heart, and lungs for lack of oxygen while you're sleeping. And over time, the risks are pretty much the same: early heart disease, strokes, and even diabetes. So this is an area that came out of the statistical reviews of various accidents in the Department of Transportation Industry. And they've determined that either associated or direct causal was operator fatigue, of which a big component sleep apnea was. So the FAA is mainly focused on identifying those pilots and getting them appropriately treated. And there's a program in place where that can be done without having to decertify medical pilot. There's a grace period of time where they can get it evaluated and turn in their medical information for review.
So, generally speaking, is this a question of someone self-identifying the problem?
It's many times it's not known to the individual. Just like chronic fatigue, we're poor judges of our own fatigue status. So folks don't really understand or realize that they may be having symptoms, even minor symptoms of disturbed sleep, moodiness, and falling asleep or feeling drowsy when you're operating a vehicle or flying.
So if a person is diagnosed with sleep apnea, what happens then? What's the normal treatment?
The Aviation Medical Examiner, the AME, as long as they're otherwise medically qualified, is able to still issue the medical certificate. And the pilot will receive information on what is required to get it evaluated, and the FAA will send the pilot, the same information with clarification. In a lot of times, gives them 90 days to get evaluated and treated if they do have it. If they don't have it, they just need to let the FAA know, and the issue goes away. If they do have it, once we receive the information, they're issued basically a flying waiver, special issuance. And on an annual basis, they just need to submit a clinical status update.
Okay. Marcel, thanks very much for being on the program, and welcome to Alaska.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed tonight's program. Until next week, fly safe.